Now let's take a closer look at one of the stories that's been dominating the headlines. Just the other day, there was an announcement, well, a tweet by, it's not called a tweet anymore, whatever the heck Elon calls it, saying that he wants to buy OpenAI. Now, this is an interesting story, and there's a lot of nuance to it. In fact, I would call your attention to today's episode of Tech Strong Gang, where the gang goes deep on the question of Musk buying OpenAI. I will summarize it for you, however, here in a moment. So, first things first, it's important to recognize that Musk did not make an offer for OpenAI, the company that makes ChatGPT and is charging money to have people use it and all that. Basically, the OpenAI you know about. What Musk's offer is for OpenAI's open source organization, which seems a little weird that they would pay $97 billion for a company that reportedly employs two people and has no revenue and is dedicated to as a charitable nonprofit. Why would they want that thing? Well, the answer is because the nonprofit arm of OpenAI actually has a controlling interest in the OpenAI that you know of, and that is valued at somewhere between 260 and 400 billion dollars. So this $97 billion offer was not a lowball offer on a $400 billion business. It was actually an incredibly rich offer on a small business that can't really be valued. And why would they do this? Well, I don't think that Musk actually wants OpenAI. I don't think he would be opposed to buying it. And I think that if for some magical reason the nonprofit decided to take the offer, I think that Musk would have investors lining up with their hands up, because basically whoever controls the nonprofit controls the company. And not only that, but if the company is to go public or have some other major transition, it will have to buy out that stake of control from the nonprofit. And whoever has their hands on the nonprofit at that point would basically be sitting in the catbird seat in terms of demanding a huge, huge penalty. So overall, the message on this acquisition is not, in fact, that Elon Musk made a $97 billion offer to take control of OpenAI. It's that they made a $97 billion threat that completely upends the financial picture when OpenAI actually does anything. Because now the shareholders are going to demand that OpenAI, the company, pay OpenAI, the nonprofit, north of $100 billion for its stake in the company. And that is going to be sort of a poison pill that's going to waste a bunch of money from the rival to Musk's own AI company. So it's savvy business, and it's not at all what people are reporting. Al, what do you think of this? And also, maybe we can talk about some other story related to OpenAI.
Well, I think as a little more piece of the sort of context, this didn't come out of nowhere. It's not that Elon decided, I'm just going to stir something up. Right? This is a continuing challenge and fight between Sam Altman and Elon. So Elon is currently suing to avoid having the OpenAI's open source piece become a for-profit. And this, again, as I say, Stephen, this $97 billion offer is a line in the sand of how much it would be worth if this non-profit were a for-profit. And it's another inhibitor to that transition to for-profit. So, yeah, this is interesting loud noises. And of course, Sam Altman came back and said that he'd like to buy Twitter for $9.7 billion, which is significantly less than Elon originally paid for it. But of course, the other OpenAI story is around their own custom hardware. And just as we heard earlier about Huawei's custom hardware for building AI solutions, OpenAI are very close to having their own hardware solution. They've gone out to TSMC to actually produce some initial units of their own hardware accelerator, so they don't have to give lots of money to Jensen Huang at NVIDIA in order to train their models. So it's an interesting development to see custom-built silicon for just training and building large language models rather than a reuse of the highly parallelized GPUs. So it will be really interesting to see what the technology is inside these OpenAI chips. Now, with new chip development, it's a long, slow process. And usually the first chip that you build in a new category is very much an experiment. And it still takes 18 months to 2 years to 5 years to turn that into some working silicon. And so they're not expecting to completely replace all of their NVIDIA GPUs in the near future. So your NVIDIA stock price isn't going to crash that fast. But we do see this movement away from being very reliant on the NVIDIA GPUs. And OpenAI would love to have their own dedicated supplier for GPUs where they could fully control what the GPU does and how it can be used within their AI pipelines.